Welcome to Improving Students' Modern Language Speaking through Formative Assessment, Part 2, Monitoring, by Dr. Harry Grover Tuttle. You can review the first part of this presentation by looking at the importance of students speaking in a modern language class, which is available as a YouTube video or is also available on SlideShare. We want our students to do more than crawl in the language. We want them to run in the language. ACTFL has identified the various levels of speaking, from the basic crawling of the novice level, where students speak and memorize phrases and personal combinations, up to their walking in the intermediate level, where students have simple direct conversations, and to the running levels of advanced level and superior level speaking. The question is, where are your students in their speaking? Do they crawl, walk, or run in the target language? Formative assessment provides us with a way of helping our students. And formative assessment is the process of students immediately moving forward from their present diagnosed learning to the expected learning goal. And notice that this emphasizes what the students are going to do, and that immediately it's going to happen as soon as a student makes a mistake in the classroom. Formative assessment focuses on improvement, not a grade. Formative assessment focuses on continual improvement. Unfortunately, many of our students become stuck in their speaking. They cannot get unstuck by themselves. Even if the class moves on to the next unit, the students remain stuck and do not progress. They just spin their wheels and get even more stuck. They need new speaking strategies to get out of their present situation. Through formative assessment, we offer our students safety ropes to success. They can climb up in their speaking with our structured help through formative assessment. The steps in formative assessment are: student responds, someone monitors the response, diagnoses the response, shares feedback based on the diagnosis, the students incorporate that feedback, and the students report growth and they celebrate. There are basically three forms of assessment. The pre-assessment determines where the student is. We give instruction, and then the activities we do in class that help the students to improve are based on formative assessment to help the student reach his or her goal. And then there's a post-assessment, which is summative. Before we can start formative assessment in our classroom, we need to identify what speaking learning goals we have for our students. Regretfully, many textbooks use a topical approach, such as family. However, students never really know what they are to say about the topic of family. I can statements identify what language functions students will be able to do. They are written in student talk. These statements not only identify what the students are to learn, but how well, such as name 10 family members. Until our students speak, we are in total darkness about their speaking ability. The more students speak in class, the more we can help them to improve. If we do not allow them to speak, then we cannot find out their speaking strengths and weaknesses. In formative assessment, we monitor students just as this young baby is being monitored. How many times each class do your students speak in the target language? How often do you assess your students? Spontaneous speaking does not include doing oral grammar drills or orally listing vocabulary. The most common teacher reaction to a student speaking error, according to Omagio, is recast. In recast, the teacher says the form or the word correctly and waits for the student to repeat it. However, the student simply needs to copy the teacher without understanding how to do it better the next time. Recasting is very ineffective. Again, we focus on a topic, and then we focus on the language function we want our students to use, and then we give them many opportunities to talk. As they talk, we monitor them. However, we cannot assume that we are going to remember each time a student speaks in the classroom. Also, we will want to use a rubric or I can statements to assess their speaking, so we assess them the same way each time. It is critical that we record their speaking data. in something like a spreadsheet. We can record their data on a piece of paper and then transfer it, or we can enter the data directly into a smartphone or some form of computer. We need to have this baseline recorded so that we can judge their future learning against it and see if how much they have improved from their present status. How often do you record data about your students speaking? Once we have monitored students and recorded their speaking, we can move on to the other steps in formative assessment, which will be in future videos. There is a book, Improving Foreign Language Speaking Through Formative Assessment, which you may find helpful since it focuses on language functions and provides strategies for students to use or improve. For information about the author of this presentation, you can contact him at htuttleBS@gmail.com. You can click on the link to find out about his Spanish speaking activities at Teachers Pay Teacher, or you can go to his blog. Thank you very much.